So on that note, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who I was before I graduated with a University of Michigan engineering degree, and the theme, of course, will be basically a nobody. And then I graduated with my University of Michigan engineering degree, and all of these great things happened. I'm going to tell you why I'm here. I'm going to tell you what's different in today's world versus when I graduated in 1990. And then to get to the gist of it, what are the common factors for all entrepreneurs? And importantly, what I would have done differently at U of M had I known what I was going to do in the future, and then a little more final thoughts. So, this is who I am. I was humble beginnings, son of 2 elementary school teachers. I lived in South Quad freshman year, and I figured I needed a little extra spending cash at the University of Michigan, so I got my first job, and my first job was at Michigan Telefund. And there I am in 1986 in the Michigan Daily ad. Unfortunately, that was the beginning and end of my modeling career. And I worked at Telefund. I sort of worked and earned most of my cash. It was right above Rick's when I was at University of Michigan. And then when I was at Telefund, by the time I was a senior, I went on to what was probably the worst job on campus, which was I was chairman of the Senior Pledge Giving Program. Now, you may not know what that is, but what that meant was we called seniors while they were still in college and asked them to give money to the University of Michigan. I mean, that's crazy, right? And then a lot of my friends were there, and they knew I was running. They'd be like, Andy Stenzler, he knows I have no money. So it was a tough job, but somebody had to do it. When I was at University of Michigan, believe it or not, the plum job to get in the summer was General Motors, right? General Motors was the plum job, and I landed it. I worked at the bumper plant in Livonia, Michigan. And what I didn't know at the time was that I knew what was going to happen 20 years from now with the car companies, because here I was, I got my industrial engineering degree. First day of work, they assigned me, I'm going to do my first time study. I didn't have my degree yet. This is after sophomore year. I get to do a time study. I get to the bumper plant, and I'm supposed to monitor how many welds that these guys can do across the day and to try and make them more efficient. So I get there, and after an hour and a half, the guys stopped working. I was like, what's going on? Well, they had completed the 1,000 welds that they were responsible for that day. And for the next 6.5 hours, they played cards and read magazines. So you can imagine what it was like being a student trying to figure out, what am I supposed to put in the time work study? This was crazy stuff. So then I was lucky enough when I landed my real job, which was when I was a senior, to go out into the real world, which was to be a York HVAC salesman. Now, many of you might not know what HVAC stands for, but it wasn't very cool. It's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. And so I had what ended up being a great job, which was selling large-scale air conditioning systems in New York City. And then, boom, I graduate from University of Michigan with, I don't know if they still call it In-N-Out Easy, but they did when I was here because it was the easiest of the engineering degrees that you could get. But I had my industrial and operations engineering degree, and boom, I was ready to take on the world. So this is the theme here, right? Okay, so why did they invite me here to speak? Well, after graduating U of M, I did a whole bunch of things. I started all these different companies. Cozy, which there was one of the sandwich shops here for the last 10 years. There's lots of them across the country. We'll talk about it a little later. Another company called Greater Talent, a real estate company called Solofs, a dumpling company called Rickshaw. And I got some awards along the way, like being 40 under 40 and 35 under 35. And all these great things happened, of course, because I graduated from the University of Michigan. So that's why I'm here technically. But I wanted to share with you, because it's, I think, extremely relevant, why I'm really here. Well, why I'm really here is because of Julie Stadola and Beth Bastian. And that's when I got my most important job, which was here at the University of Michigan. I used to drive Julie and Beth to class every single day. Why? Because I was really good at driving, and they were really good at doing the homework. So that was exactly why I got through the University of Michigan. I had these great 2 friends, and of course I'm teasing a little bit. But we forming friends and having great relationships, we had a great thing going, and that's a reason I got to where I was today. There they are. That's me in the '89 Michigan National Championship t-shirt. Boom, dating myself. All right, so I just thought I'd cover a couple just of the businesses if you don't know them. What are the two ones that are sort of most known throughout the country is Cozy and Kidville. Cozy was a sandwich company, largely known for its generations-old signature crackly crust Italian Roma flatbread, and we made great sandwiches out of it, and pizzas, and squagles, and quesadillas, and all this fun stuff. So over 140 Cozy's nationwide. There's lots of Michigan locations if any of you are from Michigan. And sure enough, there was one here in Ann Arbor, which I opened when I was still at Cozy. And unfortunately, that 10-year lease that I signed back then, I'm so old that it's now expired and they weren't able to get renewed. So I'm sort of bummed about that because I can't see the Cozy when I come here. The other business, which is what I do right now to get to take you to the present, is a business called Kidville. You see, when you have kids, you start thinking about other ideas, and really what's around you in your life helps you generate those ideas. And Kidville, as I said before, it's been this great business. We're named Best of by New York Magazine. What is it? Kidville, we take all sorts of classes and put them all under one roof for little kids, like Little Maestros and Big Muscles for little babies and Run, Wiggle, Paint, Giggle. We also have kids' boutiques in there and retail stores and indoor playgrounds, and we make it very clean, safe, and secure. That was the concept. The way I got it going was I got what we call some great cachet people to be involved with the concept from the beginning. Namely, Lori Tisch is a partner of mine, and there's, of course, Tisch Hall at the University of Michigan, so it was fun to be partners with somebody who used to go to classes in the building. The Stern family, where I went to business school at the NYU Stern School of Business, Andre Agassi and Steffi Graf. These were all people that I met along my way through my 5 different businesses that I started who got involved in the current business. Sort of became a phenomenon when we opened it. It's what you hope with any business. Tons of people came out of the gate, and we got featured all over the world. Now we're expanding everywhere nationally. We're in Dallas and Miami and San Diego. We're in Dubai. We open in Mumbai next month. We're opening Cairo. We're opening Beijing next year. It's the kind of stuff that when we talk about business a little bit later that you want to be able to do, grow and expand your business. Other things that we're doing with it is we're always launching new businesses. We just launched our own little version of Groupon, which is called 8 Moms out of it. We do branded media. Mom social networks are coming. Kidville branded clothing. Always launching new businesses. Always being an entrepreneur, even with inside the business.